Hello everybody, welcome to another Fun in 5. I'm bringing you Castles of Burgundy. This one has been in my collection since the early days of modern board gaming, so after we got out of Monopoly and Life and those kind of games, and I think our first gateway game was Catan, and then got into games like Castles of Burgundy and beyond. So this one has been one of the longer games in our collection, and we played it many times, and I think I played it as recently as 2 months ago, so it still comes out of our collection even though the collection is in the hundreds now. So why is it? What are 5 things that I like about this game? I'll tell you a little bit about it first. In this game, you're taking on the role of 15th century princes in Burgundy, and you're going to be rolling dice and trying to find ways to get animal farming and city building, scientific research, and kind of building your landscape. So that's kind of the theme of the game, and that theme is the first thing that I like, because it has a regal, elegant theme to what is really a very strategic dice rolling and kind of action placement game here. And I really like how that's layered on it. And you could put a different theme on it and still enjoy it, but I think this theme really works with how they did the buildings and the research and the animals. It all tethers together so well. So it might seem like a mundane or bland theme, but many of the most popular games or most successful games out there are because the theme just really matches the mechanics so well, and this game does that. So that's the first thing I like, is the regal, elegant theme that matches the gameplay. The second thing I like is about the dice mechanic. So in this game, every turn you're going to roll 2 dice. Unless you're the lead player, you're going to roll a 3rd die, and that just influences where goods go on the board. But you're going to roll 2 dice, and those 2 dice stay as is. And then when it's your turn, you get to spend that die and choose an action that reflects that die value. So on the board here, there are certain goods that cost 2 pips or 2 dice marks. So I can only buy from over here if I have a 2. Or I might be able to sell a good that has a value of 2 on my board. Or there's different things that you can do with that 2 value. But I could also use a worker to either increase or decrease my die roll by 1. And so you start the game with a certain number of workers, and you can acquire more by sacrificing a die. I think you can earn more workers. And so you can find ways to manipulate your dice. Or you may find, if you get really bad dice rolls, like I said, you can spend your die roll to buy workers so that future turns you might not have such bad die rolls. So I think that's a neat way to play the game there. The way they've managed that dice mechanic to make sure there's ways to alleviate the randomness of it. You still have to play around the randomness a little bit, but that's part of the strategy of the game, is knowing that you're not always going to roll exactly what you need, so you need to kind of plan and purchase strategically throughout the game. The third thing I like is that timing matters immensely in so many ways in this game. From the earliest point, if you get sets of your colored swatches, so your hexes filled in, you get lots of extra points early in the game and you get less later in the game. Or you may want a specific tile, and if you don't get it when it's your turn, it might not be there the next time it comes around. Plus the entire board shifts multiple times in the game. I think 5 times during the game all the tiles on the board go away and new tiles come out, and you may not get that one tile that you really wanted to kind of fit into your winning strategy. And timing matters for completing certain sections on your map, because if you're the first person, you get bonus points, but if you're the second person, you get less bonus points, and if you're the third or fourth person, you don't get any bonus points. So timing matters in that aspect as well. Timing matters in when you purchase ships, because they're going to let you be the first player sometimes if you've got their ships. So timing is layered throughout this game in so many ways, and I like how the designer made that important. So timing. Fourth thing I like is that there's a great variety of tiles in the game. So this game, you can see this particular round I've got certain tiles laid out, but there is no shortage of different tiles. In each game, you may only use about 50% of the tiles. I'm just guesstimating here. And the tiles, even though there's a lot of duplication in them, there's also a lot of differences in them. So you may get a lot of a certain type of building in one game, but you might not get any in another game. Or you may be trying to get certain sets of animals, and they'll really appear in a game, and that'll give you lots of points for animals, but maybe in another game the animals are sparse or it's all different animals all the time. So the variety of tiles really impacts how the game plays out. And there are also these research tiles, and they have specific things that may influence how you start your game early on or how you end your game off once you get certain research tiles. So I like that. And then there are goods tiles as well that are also randomized, so how you purchase goods and how they collect in colors can influence that timing aspect that I talked about. And then the fifth thing that I like about this game is that there are quite a few paths to victory. I mean, everybody starts with there's two sides to the board, so you might start with a identical board, so everybody has the same kind of map, or you may start with all different boards, as long as they have the same skill values or whatnot on them. And so that allows variety in the game, but it also allows different paths to victory. So like I mentioned, some of the things matter early on if you complete all of a certain color of connected units. And so your strategy may be, I really need to make sure I get ships this round. Or your strategy might be, I want to get as many different types of research as I can, because then I can get some extra bonus points at the end of the game. Or you may be the person that really wants to dive into the aspect of getting the storage or the goods sold, because you get extra points for that. Regardless, there's so many different ways that you can earn points in this game, but it's not a luck-based game. I mean, you really have to plan out how you're going to accrue those points and do it in a short amount of time and with the least amount of dice rolling, and really using your workers only when you really need to. If you have to spend 2 or 3 workers to get a roll done, well, I think the most you'd ever have to spend is 2, but either way, if you have to spend too many workers, then you're kind of wasting your die roll. So the paths to victory are various, and how you go about them is really, really strategic. And so somebody who's just playing the game for the first time, chances are they will not win against people who have played it many times. But once you have 2 or 3 people that have played this game many times, then the game gets really interesting, because you all are kind of eyeing what each other are doing, seeing if somebody's picking up on the animals, seeing if somebody's trying to go for that research or building that you want. And it adds a lot of fun to the game once you all know how to play and you've all played very well. So there you have it, 5 things I like about Castles of Burgundy. Like I said, it's been in the collection a while, and there's a good reason for it. It's never going to leave the collection. And I believe there is a more updated artistic version of the game. This one we bought, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, but there's a newer version that came out recently. So if it doesn't match what you see on a website or something, or a game store that you go into, it's the same game, just kind of a different look to it. And there is a slight expansion to it as well. I actually haven't played the expansion. We like the original so much that we didn't decide to mess with it, but there is some mini expansions that you can get for it. Thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful day. If you played the game, let me know. Let me know your thoughts and what you like most about the game yourself. Take care.